Hey everyone, it's Argonaut here from Return of the Fan, and got some bad news for Star Wars fans. Lucasfilm renews Kathleen Kennedy's contract through to 2024. So we're stuck with her for another 3 years, absolutely effing up everything in Star Wars, um, and probably the Indiana Jones franchise as well, it looks like. So I guess we should have a read of these details. Kathleen Kennedy reportedly renews her contract with Lucasfilm through to 2024. Where Disney acquired Lucasfilm, George Lucas, I can't believe he did this, but he handpicked Kennedy to be the studio's new president, entrusting his old colleague to oversee a new wave of Star Wars and Indiana Jones projects. Nearly a decade later, a slate of 5 Star Wars movies has been released. A plethora of TV Star Wars shows are coming through the pipeline, and Indiana Jones 5 is currently filming ahead of its release date. While there's a lot for viewers to look forward to, Kennedy's tenure has proven to be divisive. That's an understatement amongst audiences for a variety of reasons. I'm sure that George Lucas is really thinking that he made a mistake in handpicking her to be the new president, but I think it probably wouldn't have mattered who was made president because it's Disney and they're pushing their woke agenda. All of that would have come through anyway. Outside of creative differences made for Star Wars sequel trilogy splitting audiences, Lucasfilm has become rather infamous for behind-the-scenes turmoil resulting in several filmmakers leaving the studio. Phil Lord and Chris Miller's shocking firing from Solo. And yep, uh, whatever. I don't know why they fired them, but what they ended up with was absolute crap anyway. And by the way, Star Wars Solo lost money, did not make its money back. Um, Lucasfilm also parted ways with Josh Trank, Colin Trevorrow, and others. More recently, Patty Jenkins' Star Wars spin-off Rogue Squadron was delayed due to creative differences. Who wants to see a Rogue Squadron spin-off? Not me. I want to see Jedi in my Star Wars. I'm not really that interested in those particular characters, right? The whole thing about Star Wars is it's the Jedi that make Star Wars what Star Wars is. Otherwise, it's just another sci-fi show like Battlestar Galactica. This has caused some to believe Lucasfilm will be better off without Kennedy, but she's staying around, unfortunately. Um, so yeah, they talk about the sequel trilogy splitting audiences. Of course it did, because the whole point of Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy's role is to promote all the female characters far and above all the male characters, right? Retconned Luke Skywalker to become an uncaring type of character, didn't care about anyone that's not Luke's character. If you watch any of the original trilogy, you'll know that that was not that. He even went to try and help his friends in Empire Strikes Back, even though he was not fully trained yet, but he had to go and help his friends. He would never turn his back on his friends as it was made out to be in the sequel trilogy. Basically, all the male characters were shit. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Poe, Finn. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head, but all of those characters were put down so that all the female characters could be made to rise above them. So think Rose Tico, Admiral Gender Studies. Admiral Holdo. Who else was there? Princess Leia, who actually got her own force powers and so on, and all of the other characters as well. So all of those characters were made to rise up above all the male characters, and obviously Rey was the biggest Mary Sue ever. Right? She was able to master the Force without any form of training at all, and she was able to beat Kylo Ren, who's had years and years of training, and beat him quite easily. So yeah, that was I just hated the sequel trilogy. But she's going to be around a bit longer, and we're probably going to get the same things as well. Kennedy has a lot of good things happening at Lucasfilm, and I'm told she recently re-upped her deal for another 3 years. Well, I mean, it's good on her for renegotiating with Disney. Who wouldn't go on and do that, get to push your agenda and earn millions and millions of dollars. Kennedy previously had her contract extended for 3 years back in 2018, so a decision on her future had to be made soon. Even with the news about Rogue Squadron delay, it would appear Disney is pleased with the way Kennedy is running Lucasfilm. Of course they are, because this is Disney's agenda that Lucasfilm is pushing, obviously. Despite the sequel trilogy earning mixed reception, Star Wars seems to be a strong place in the small screen. The Mandalorian is a crown jewel in Disney Plus's lineup, and Lucasfilm also has the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ashoka, and Andor, and more on the way. I don't really have any interest in any of the shows. After what happened to Gina Carano, notice they didn't mention Gina Carano about the internal turmoil in this particular article. It's like she's not allowed to be brought up at all in any of the mainstream media. So yeah, after what Disney and Lucasfilm did to her, I am not going to be supporting them with any of my money. I don't care how successful these shows are. Basically, Star Wars is dead anyway. Unless they can completely somehow retcon the sequel trilogy, there's no way back for Star Wars for me, and I'm one of the biggest fans ever of Star Wars. There's plenty of excitement, blah, 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 blah. I'm not at all interested in Indiana Jones 5. Indiana Jones should have finished on at the end of the trilogy. The first 3 films were pretty cool. After that, the 4th one was pretty bad, and the 5th one is just going to be absolute trash. And I think it's just going to be a handing over the torch from Indiana Jones to a female Indiana Jones, because that's the agenda that Lucasfilm and Disney want to push. Right? They don't want men characters to be their top characters. They want them all to be female characters. Anyway, let me know what you think. Are you happy that Kathleen Kennedy is back for another 3 years, or are you like me and think that nothing's going to change and they're still going to be producing the same sort of trash they've been producing so far since they took over? Anyway, I'd love to read your comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe, as it just means the YouTube algorithm will find my content easier. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.